Hello, this is Mr. Chilton. I teach the AP Physics curriculum here at Roswell High School, and I'm glad that you're watching this video right now. I know it's going to be a little bit rough. I really wish we could actually have the parent night where you guys come in, but you know, COVID, we can't quite do that. So I just want to go through some things. You might be watching this because you're inquiring about AP Physics C versus AP Physics 1. You might be inquiring about whether or not your child should take AP Physics 1 or on-level physics. So I'll go ahead and try to make this as fast as possible. You can always email me. You can find my email located on the Roswell High School's website, or you can just type in it's Chilton, CHILTONB, at fultonschools.org, and I'll be able to answer your questions directly as well. So let's go ahead and go through this. So I just want to put up some main things that I've had asked by parents in the past. So let's kind of go through that. These are the types of courses that are offered here at Roswell. Pretty much. We don't have the AP Physics 2 because we haven't had enough students signing up for that course yet. But hopefully in the future we can get enough students that will actually take that course. It's a lot of physics, and they typically try to go from 1 to C if that's who the student typically is. So we usually get about 4 to 10 students signing up every year for 2 that come from 1, but they end up taking C eventually as well. So AP Physics 1 is an algebra-based physics course. It covers the topics kinematics, Newton's laws, UCM, which is uniform circular motion and gravitation. It covers simple harmonic motion. We cover rotation, energy, and momentum. There's only 7. We used to cover mechanical waves and some electricity and some circuits, but they've taken that out of the curriculum this year. So, and it won't be in the future because they say those things are covered in Physics 2. So we're just going to go ahead and we don't cover those anymore. So we're able to do a lot more labs and extend it out a little bit more. Physics 2 covers more of the cooler topics, I would say, within physics. So again, it's algebra based. So you got fluid dynamics, you got electricity, you got magnetism, you have optics when it comes to light, and then there's some modern physics in there and some nuclear physics. So it's got a really cool curriculum, and I wish we can get the students to actually pick that up and take that course. Now over here is our calculus-based physics. So we have mechanics and we have electricity and magnetism. If a student signs up for C, they don't take one or the other one. They take both. This is fall semester and this is spring semester. So you can almost think about it as like AP microeconomics and AP macroeconomics. Like if they're going to take, they can choose to take one, but for this school, if you sign up, you're signing up for both. But there are some seniors that they realize that AP Physics C mechanics is a little bit too much, and so what they do is they typically they just say, oh, I don't want to be an E&M next semester, but that's beside the point. Let's go ahead. You would take both fall and then spring. We cover the same topics here that we do here, so it's pretty much the same. We go in much more in depth. But the questions are more straightforward. So this is our calculus-based class, and then your calculus-based electricity and magnetism, and that comes second semester. So the coursework that you have to do, I say 10 minutes per night, and that's really just reviewing your notes and maybe doing a couple problems. Now that we can extend it out, it shouldn't be more than that. I think sometimes the students say it might be up to like 30 minutes, and you do have to put in more time when an assessment comes up, but it's really not that much coursework, and I'm hoping in the future any kind of classwork that can be done will be done during class. So anything that's done outside of class will to supplement what we do in class to get a better grade, but it's not required work to be successful in the course. I'm hoping to be able to just not have homework starting next year. When we have AP Physics 2, it's very similar in nature to AP Physics 1. AP Physics C, we go at a really, really fast pace. So there is a lot of requirement outside. Now, whether or not this is 30 minutes or an hour per night depends on how comfortable you are with physics. This is what I've noticed in the past 5 years of teaching this. If a student has had calculus but no physics before, they're usually spending 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes a night. That's just, they have to supplement. We move at a much faster, because since we cover all of these topics, here, but we cover them in a semester and not a full year. So we go really, really fast. But the students who have had physics before, they need to at least be concurrently taking calculus. And if they do this, then those are the students that are typically the most successful if they've had physics before. But I definitely open it up. I've had really strong students that have taken calculus that are very strong mathematically. They do 30 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, and they can be really successful in the AP Physics C mechanics course. And with E&M, this is again a separate course from this one. There's 2 separate AP tests. That's why I separated them, even though it's sort of the same class. The prerequisite is you have to have mechanics. You can't just take like AP Physics 1 and then jump into to E&M. You have to have this. The mechanics course, the coursework is about the same, and it doesn't matter who you are. We get into the theory behind electricity and magnetism, and it can become daunting. So that's kind of covers the coursework. When you get back into Physics 1 here, we have the scores nationally. The AP Physics nationally has the lowest score out of all APs across the board. The reason why that is because it's not because the content is really hard, but it's really difficult to understand it at such a strong conceptual level that the AP curriculum requires a student to do. So it does have like a 68% failure rate. Here at Roswell, because our students are so strong, we do have our averages over a 3. It's like a 3.1. So you guys, it just depends. And I know that colleges will accept a 3, and you get 1 semester of AP credit if you get higher than a 3. So we always shoot for passing for this, because you don't get extra credit if you get a 4 or 5, like something in AP chemistry, where some colleges will give you a semester credit if you get a 3 or a 4, but a full year credit if you get a 5. That's not quite the case. For this one, if you take this and then this, then you can get that full year credit, but they're only going to give credit of a 3. Here on AP Physics C, you get 1 semester of engineering physics credit. So that's a real credit, but you don't get the, typically a school won't give credit if you get a 3. Usually you have to get at least a 4. Georgia Tech, you have to score a 5, I believe, to get that mechanics credit. And it's the same thing here for E&M. You have to score a 5 on the exam. So you can see the scores are higher. The questions on these tests, the tests are ridiculously difficult, but they are more straightforward. They're not as abstract or conceptual in nature. So, and typically the students that take this already have a pretty high academic standing. They've already been successful historically in mathematics and science classes. So a student that is putting themselves into this class are more likely to be your engineers, and they are typically better test takers, so that's why the average scores are typically higher. So the AP average is 3.6, ours is around 4.2, and here in E&M, ours is around 4.1. 4.2 here, 4.0 here over the last 3 years, and this is the national average, 3.4. So it just depends. We always shoot for those 5s and try to get the students to get as best they can. Now this is when I usually take questions from the parents, and they ask things like, well, I'm wondering if my child should take on-level physics versus AP physics. So, and that's a great question. And in the past I said that usually the students will take a big ego hit if they try to take AP Physics 1 if they're not ready. So as a junior, if they're going into pre-calculus, because there are some students in there that are seniors that have already taken calculus that kind of want to take another AP, but they don't want it to be too difficult. So they see those types of students that seem to be really, really getting it really quickly, and they typically struggle. So that's what I mean, they take an ego hit, because they're not used to be surrounding with students that perform at that elite level. But that's okay. That doesn't mean that they don't belong in there. So if they're interested in the content, I definitely recommend taking it. And now I actually recommended taking it more because we have the coursework has gone down by those 3 units. So we're able to do a lot more labs. Now the student, and you know your students and your kids better than I do, but one of the things I want to say about physics versus AP physics, if they don't like to do work, they shouldn't be in AP Physics. Not because it's not a lot of work, it's because that is a necessity for being successful in the class. If they don't like to write up labs, or you've had them experience in the past, like they don't like to do coursework because they're like, I don't need to do it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do the lab, I'm not going to write it up, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, they will completely get destroyed in this class. The curriculum is way too hard if you're not doing the work. However, the workload isn't very much, and if the student is doing the workload, then they will be successful in this. So if you have a good student that has been historically pretty good in math, where they're getting A's in on-level math class, like Algebra 2, or if they're getting B's in maybe a more advanced math class, like they've been getting B's in honors, Algebra 2, and a B in like maybe honors pre-cal, then they will probably be successful in this well. They have to have that historical success in a problem-solving style class, and then those are the ones that are typically more successful in here. So I hope I answered that question for AP1 versus on-level physics. In AP Physics C, whether or not you want to do this one or AP Physics 1, that has to do with whether or not you're going to be an engineer and whether or not you have the most advanced class. I don't like getting students in this that probably should have been in here, because what they end up doing is they end up getting turned off on the content of physics because of the speed at which we go, when here they would develop a much deeper appreciation and understanding for physics. And that's kind of like the difference between those two. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk to you about that pertains to the courses, or the difference in the courses. I think that's pretty much it. I think I covered everything. We talked about the college credit, the 5s, the 3s for these two. If you have any other questions for me in the future, just email me and I'll be glad to respond to that as best I can. All right, thanks. Bye.